Black-throated Munia. The black-throated Munia, or Jerdon's manakin, can be found mostly in the Eastern Ghats, southwest India and Sri Lanka. It feeds primarily on seed and grain and is a frequent dweller of mountain landscapes, open woodland, cultivated areas such as tea plantations and lantana scrub. The black-throated Munia's nest is often an untidy ball which is normally built in thick foliage, offering protection from predators and the elements. Black-throated Munias predominantly gather in small flocks, and when moving from place to place they are known to fly considerably high up in comparison to other small finch species. Red Avadavat. The red avadavat, otherwise known as the red munia or strawberry finch, is a small sparrow-sized finch found in the open fields and grasslands of tropical Asia, often close to human habitation. When in breeding season, the male of the species is almost entirely covered in a striking bright red plumage, and out of breeding season he appears in duller shades which is known as the eclipse plumage, and is similar to how the female looks year-round. Red avadavats build large dome-shaped freestanding nests which have a side entrance built low to the ground in thick bushes, grass clumps or reeds. Indian silverbill. The Indian silverbill, also known as the white-throated munia, is widely distributed across the Indian subcontinent and, due to accidental introduction, parts of the Middle East, North America and even in Europe. As such, it can be found mainly on open plains but also in dry scrub, cultivated areas and at altitude in the sub-Himalayan regions. The Indian silverbill feeds mainly on seeds and insects but has been known to feed off nectar-bearing flowers. They are often seen travelling in large flocks unless mating, where they pair off and build a small messy ball-shaped nest in low-lying shrubs. Red-headed bullfinch. The red-headed bullfinch can be found in small to medium-sized flocks across the Himalayas and is most prevalent in the temperate forests of northern India, Nepal, Bhutan, China, Pakistan and southern parts of Tibet. Unlike males of the species, the females have a pale yellow head and nape, blending into a grey back. Red-headed bullfinches feed mostly on seeds and berries, as well as plant buds and nectar from rhododendron flowers. Their nest is comprised of twigs, plant fibres, roots and lichen, shaped into a cup-like structure situated above ground in small trees. Scaly-breasted Munia. The scaly-breasted Munia, known more commonly in the bird-keeping hobby as the spice finch or nutmeg manakin, is native to tropical Asia but is also found in other parts of the world including Japan, Hawaii, Australia and parts of the West Indies. Scaly-breasted munias are known to congregate in extremely large flocks where they exhibit coordinated tail flicking before flying off. This is thought to be done in order to keep their large flocks together during movement from one location to another. Their diet consists of seeds, grains, berries and insects. Breeding pairs construct dome-shaped nests made from grass and bamboo leaves. Tricoloured Munia. The tricoloured Munia has an extremely large range and is widespread across tropical Asia, most of the Caribbean and Venezuela. They are often seen in small flocks and prefer to stay around the tropical lowlands on waterlogged areas as well as grassy areas and temperate forests, usually mixing alongside other seed-eating species. Nests are an untidy spherical or oval shape and typically built just above water in reeds or low-lying coarse grass. Tricoloured munias primarily feed on flowering grass seeds and grains which include rice obtained from the rice paddies that they frequent. White-rumped Munia. The white-rumped Munia, also known as the striated finch, is native to tropical continental Asia and some adjacent islands where it can be found in open woodlands, grassland and scrub as well as agricultural areas. Although a wild seed eater first and foremost, the white-rumped Munia also feeds on grains such as rice and millet and so is a frequent resident of human-developed farms and fields. Although a wild seed eater first and foremost, the white-rumped Munia also feeds on grains such as rice and millet and so it is a frequent resident of human-developed farms and fields. The nests are usually a large dome-shaped structure built in trees or bushes and made from grass strands, although these birds have been known to use abandoned nests of the bioweaver. Chestnut Munia. The chestnut munia, otherwise known as the black-headed munia, is widespread across the Asian continent, but has also been introduced to Hawaii and parts of the Caribbean. Prior to 1995, the chestnut munia was the national bird of the Philippines and was locally known as the mayang pula due to the brick red patch on its lower back, which is only visible when in flight. It feeds mainly on grains and seeds, and during the mating season, the chestnut munia will build a large dome-shaped nest from grass, which can be found in low-lying bushes or tall grasses. Green Avadavat. The green avadavat, or green munia, is a finch species endemic to the Indian subcontinent. They can be seen in flocks in dry areas with open woodland, scrub, agriculture, and often close to water. Sadly, they are close to being a threatened species due to being such a popular bird in the animal trade, and subsequently they are becoming much rarer to see in the wild. Feeding mainly on grass seeds and small insects, the green avadavat is predominantly a ground forager, but will build a spherical-shaped nest constructed of grass or sugarcane relatively high from the ground. Yellow-breasted greenfinch. The yellow-breasted greenfinch comes in two subspecies, the Himalayan and the Indian. Both types are native to the northern parts of the Indian subcontinent, with habitat being the temperate forest and shrubland of Afghanistan to the south in Vietnam. Their diet varies widely and includes seeds, flowerheads, rice, berries and insects. Often a part of small flocks during the breeding season, yellow-breasted greenfinches can be found in large flocks of more than 200 outside of the breeding season. Their nest is a neatly built cup of plant fibres put together solely by the female and usually overhanging tree branches up to 20 metres off the ground. Pink-browed rosefinch. The pink-browed rosefinch is a migratory bird that can be found across a wide range in the Indian subcontinent, but mainly in the Himalayas. Its natural habitats are boreal, tropical dry forests and scrub foothills. Their nest is constructed by mixing strips of birch bark, animal hair and moss together and is usually positioned about 2 metres from the ground in well-covered bushes. The main diet of the pink-browed rosefinch consists of seeds, grasses, berries and small herbs. Orange bullfinch. The orange bullfinch can be found in temperate montane forests from North Pakistan to northwest India and is often seen in the coniferous Himalayan regions. Their nests are built from twigs, grasses and leaves in dense thick pines and conifers, usually a few metres from the ground. They congregate in small flocks high up in the trees and regularly descend only for short periods at a time to forage on the ground for seeds, buds, berries and newly forming tree shoots. Despite their relatively small range, the orange bullfinch has a very stable population and so is classed as being of least concern. Spectacled finch. The spectacled finch is found in the northern regions of the Indian subcontinent ranging across Afghanistan, India, Nepal and Pakistan. Its natural habitat is high altitude montane forest, although during breeding season it will descend to lower altitudes. The spectacled finch moves around in small to medium-sized flocks and has been seen out in the open foraging at the bases of conifer trees for seeds, small herbs and young shoots. Due to the spectacled finch's secretive nature, very little is known about its breeding practices or nesting sites, although its numbers would suggest that the species' populations are thriving. Scarlet finch. The scarlet finch is a type of rosefinch with a natural habitat of temperate forest which stretches across a wide range from the Indian Himalayas to Southeast Asia and as far south as Thailand. Its diet consists of a variety of buds, seeds, berries and occasionally small insects. The scarlet finch generally congregates in small flocks and pairs up during breeding season to mate in open montane fir and broadleaf forests. Their nests are usually situated high up and are a large structure of twigs, roots, grasses and other plant fibres. Himalayan goldfinch. The Himalayan goldfinch is a subspecies of the European goldfinch and is often referred to as the grey-crowned goldfinch. As its name suggests, it is endemic to the Himalayan regions of Pakistan, Nepal and China. Their diet is similar to their European counterpart and includes seeds, especially of the sunflower variety, thistles, berries and less frequently insects. The Himalayan goldfinch's nest is usually built within dense bushes or small trees, a few metres above ground, and constructed from lichen and moss, grasses, twigs and leaves.